All right, Survivor tier list in Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Let's do it. Victims, not survivors. Also, I should preface this by saying, because I don't think I said this in my last video with the family tier list, all the characters can be good, by the way. So even if I rate Johnny D tier, that's not to say that you can't build him in a way where he could be effective. I still think he's the worst family member. But that doesn't mean that he's like flat out, unusable. Like it's an auto loss if you pick him. That's not the case. And that, it'll definitely be true of victims. Because you see, I didn't even include an F tier here because I don't think anyone's F tier. You'll probably see I don't think anyone's even D tier because I think every victim has their own strengths and weaknesses. And also, much like my last video, I am going to base this off of each map because I think that each character has different strengths and weaknesses depending on the map, and we'll go over each of those. So to start out, we're going to do Family House, just like we did. Oop, that's the wrong one. Just like we did with the family members. So first is Family House, and obviously S tier is Connie because Family House is the easiest map for family members to defend. And 99% of the time, if they have any brains, they're going to bring a cook. A cook is pretty much essential on this map. And the ability for Connie to save her star sign to use on the back door is huge. Because there is no normal lock on that back door. You could just put the padlock on it. And if you have a cook who is bringing safety pins and makes padlocking way more difficult, it's going to be almost impossible to get out without Connie using her ability to instantly blow through that. So she's definitely S tier here because it's so easy to patrol all the different ways out of the house. And having a character that can immediately eliminate a cook lock and force them to patrol a larger area is a huge deal. Next up is Anna, who is similarly S tier on this map because of her ability to jump out the front window. Now, technically, every character could do this, but because of Anna's toughness, she is probably best suited to do this, and especially because of her ability. So she is really good at jumping out that front window, bringing the perk that makes it so she gets up faster, takes less damage, get up, and then even if the family members react really quickly, or even if the hitchhiker has placed a trap on the outside of the house and you land right in it, hopefully you can activate your ability and survive the oncoming onslaught from the family as they're chasing you out there, and you can go ahead and get over to the well. And then from that point on, you have now opened up the front of the house and gotten rid of the glass so they no longer get a really loud notification. I believe in my experience playing family, they still get a sound notification even after the glass is gone when somebody actually jumps out. Like you will hear like like whenever somebody jumps out. It's far less noticeable than the first time somebody jumps out when there's a loud like glass breaking sound. So she's huge for this map. Leland, I will say, is an A tier because I think he's just an excellent character in general, and he can, if you want to, you could build him to fulfill a similar role to Anna. He's not going to be as effective because there's a chance that he could die. Like, even with his ability, if you jump out the front window and there's a well-placed hitchhiker trap, even if you bring all these perks that buff his toughness and everything, and you burn his shoulder check right there, if they send two family members after you, you're probably gonna die before you get to the well. So that's why I put him a tier just below Anna, because he's not quite as good at it, but he's still A tier because his shoulder check ability is still very, very strong and can be very helpful for doing things towards the back of the house. Because like I said, it's so easy to patrol that even just like, let's say you get up the backside stairs and there's a cook back there patrolling, you shoulder check him on the ground, run upstairs. Now you freaked out the family because they might think you're going for fuse box, and now they got to run around upstairs to try and stop you. And if it's a cook and there's bad placement with one of the Leatherface cabinets, he's going to need to send Leatherface up there with him. So you could cause a lot of chaos with Leland because of that. After that, I would say Julie is here because her endurance ability isn't that good on this map, but I think that you could kind of build her as a stealthier character. And I think stealth could help on this map because if you do manage to get past someone and like get out the front window. You could go shut off the generator and no one's really going to notice you. Also really helpful for, I think any kind of character that could build themselves in a stealthy way could be a really effective character, because it just takes 1 second of slipping past somebody and, you change the course of the whole match. Like, you get a lockpick with you, head upstairs. Oh, look, the fuse spawned in that room upstairs. You nab that, open up the box, put the fuse in, and you can be boom, 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 done with all that before somebody even uses family sense to see that the fuse box is open. Those stealthy characters are pretty good for that. And if she does manage to jump out the front window, her ability can be helpful for getting distance. Activate her ability, run all the way to the back part where the car battery is. There's lots of places, gaps and crawl spaces you can loop around there, and then waste a ton of the family's time in a way that you may not be able to do with Anna, because if if the family's running scout or any sort of endurance perks that allow you to catch up, you may not survive by the time you get to the in time to get to the well, is what I'm saying. Like, Anna, she has no chance of going back there. If she's getting chased, she has to take the well, because she's not going to be fast enough. Julie, if she activates her ability, might be able to make it back there. And then if they pursue her, you could waste a bunch of time, use gaps, crawl spaces, and then go take the well. So she's good for that reason. Sunny, I'm going to put in C tier. Once again, you could kind of play him stealthily, so he's still helpful, but his ability is not as useful on this map because it is so close. It's such a tight space inside of that building, inside that family house, that being able to know where people are is not as helpful. You're going to know where they are, even without his ability, because there's not a whole lot of places they can be. You can just guess where they're going to be, and they're probably going to be there because, you'll hear them and all this stuff. So his ability, not as helpful on Family House, so I'd put him in C tier. All right, next we're going to do Gas Station. For Gas Station, I am going to say that let's say Connie is S tier once again, because once again, using her ability to open up one of the 4 gates that either leads to car battery, or especially the one that leads to generator / gas station, changes the whole game. Like if you manage to get one of those gates open, it's practically, GG at that point. So her ability is massive on this map. Possibly in a way even more so than it is on Family House. Like, Connie, it's weird. Connie is like, she's pretty much essential on both because of her ability. But I would say that you still can win on Family House without a Connie. If you have a good Anna, you can still win. If you don't have a good Connie, if you don't have any Connie on Gas Station against a good family, you lose. It's over. Like, you have to have a good Connie, because you have to be able to blow through those gates and force the family to patrol a larger area. And especially if you manage to get Gas Station open, it's going to freak the family out so much, because that gas station door is so easy to escape through, that now they're going to be forced to patrol that area, and it really makes it easier to go get Fuse Box or go get Valve. I think Connie is S tier on this map. Anna and Leland, I don't think, like, they're always going to be good because their abilities are just that good, but I don't think they're like as useful on this map. I think they're still both in A tier because their abilities are just that nuts. Shoulder Check is always going to be good. Her ability to just, essentially become invincible once she's tier 3, always going to be good. Lots of wells to drop down, so you can waste lots of time, so somebody can hopefully get Fuse Box. And also being able to draw attention is hugely important for Anna, because it will give Connie a split second to go use her ability on one of the gates. So she's really important for that. I would say Sunny is probably a little bit better on this map than Julie is. And the reason for that is because Julie doesn't really need her endurance ability on this map. There's not really anywhere for her to run like there is on Family House, where if you jump out the window, you can activate it and get to the generator. There's not really a situation like that on this map. The only thing I could think of is, like, if you open up the smoke room door, that's the single door on Gas Station, and then make a run for it, maybe you'd need it then, but by then it's like, if you bring Choose Flight, you're going to get out anyway. I think Sunny's a little more useful because his listening ability can be helpful because you may only have a split second to get something unlocked. If you're communicating with teammates, you could potentially use his listening ability and be like, hey, man, Cook's going around the backside of the house to check the right side gate that leads to car battery. You have an opportunity to, go pick the gate. Like, I've had that happen before. When I was playing Sunny, I was hiding in the grass near one of the gates that leads to the gas station. I was with Connie, and I said to her, I was like, I listened. She wasn't with me. Point is, I used my listening ability to see where Cook was, saw that he passed by, and then I said, okay, Connie, you're good. Go, go, go. And she got the, gate picked. So I think his listening ability is a little more helpful on this map than Julie's is. So I would put him slightly above Julie here. So that's gas station. And then last but not least is Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse is pretty interesting. I would say that in S tier are Anna and Leland. And the reason for that is because what do people go for on this map? It's pretty much always Valve. Like, they're always going to be going for Valve or Fuse Box. And in the Valve's case, what you will see happen more often than not is they will run up top really quick, go grab the valve, and then jump down a well. And now look, hey, they're down in the basement. That's where the water valve spawns, so they can just put the valve handle on and go to town. So Anna's really good at that because she could just run right at one of the valve spawns. If a family finds her, just activate her ability. You're not going to be able to kill her, and she'll get down the well for free. So she's really good at being able to get the valve exit going. Leland is similarly good because of his ability to then protect the valve once he has opened it. So if he opens it up, family's going to make a mad dash down there. Yes, in an ideal world, you will have bone scrap in order to backstab. But if there's also a situation where they send 2 family members down there, which they should, that they don't get backstabbed, he can still protect it because he can shoulder check the guy who's watching the back of the person who's trying to turn valve off and then backstab that guy. So his ability is hugely helpful for defending the valve once he has turned it on to stop it from being turned back off. So Leland is really good for that. Connie is A tier just because her ability is really good, but she is not as effective as she is on the other maps just because the map is so spread out. There really isn't necessarily a need to blow through locks really quickly because, you will have ample time to get through a lot of, most doors because it's going to be harder for them to patrol all these different doors. So just having really high proficiency and picking the lock normally is going to be good enough most of the time. But her ability is still really good. It's always going to be useful regardless of the map. So she's still in A tier. I would say Sunny is much better on this map. I'd put him in B tier because his listening ability can be very helpful because of how big the map is. It'd be very helpful to tell where certain family members are. I've had matches where... And really, I wish because he should be higher than B tier, but he's not on A tier where Connie is. If there was a B.5 tier, there's a B+ tier, he'd be there. He's just below Connie, I think. Because I've had games where I've used his listening ability to figure out that, like, there's a hitchhiker camping the generator. Had that happen before. A hitchhiker is literally just crouched, like walking around in the grass in the generator section in the junkyard. And it's like, having his ability to be able to spot him is really helpful. And the map is so spread out that it's actually really nice to know where certain family members are, to know when it's safe to go after certain objectives. So I think he's much better on this map. I say Julie's kind of on the same tier as him because the map is so big, her endurance ability can be really helpful. Being able to, run further and for longer is nice. It's a nice perk because you're going to get use out of it because there's a lot of places to run to. So I think she is also at B tier. So there you go. Like I talked about, all the victims are really good in their own different ways. Maybe some just a little bit better than others, but this is how I would put it right now. And also I should make it clear that there will be a patch by the time this video releases. I'm making it the night before it actually comes out. It is going to add a cooldown to Connie and Leland's abilities. That doesn't change my tier list. I think it's still the same. I don't think the cooldown is really going to have much effect at all on either one of them, because I don't think that's really the problem with their abilities, especially in the case of Connie, who's typically only using her ability once per match anyway. So, yeah, I would keep this the same, even knowing that this patch is coming. It's going to increase their cooldown. So let me know what you think about the victim tier list in Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. And like, comment, subscribe, be civil, all the normal stuff. And I will see you in the next video.